Good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at some XRP, some Bitcoin dominance, and the Sigma coin. So what a wild, wacky morning we've had so far. So from the lows, wrapping up that final fifth wave from the yesterday, we ended up impulsing with a 5-wave move with a corrective ABC down backtest. I did a long through the evening, closed out a little bit late, got out right about here. I was thinking about getting out, but it was like 4 a.m., so I missed it. But since then, we've hit a backtest of our -2 deviation VWAP, as you can see here. And then we've also been able to go in and at the same time hit a 702 backtest, just about, of this local region for a wave 2 correction. Okay, so this is our super price action here. So basically an expectation of moving back to the top of the range and getting our move to the upside again in continuation is perfect. Now, note the higher lows that are being set here continually. That's what you want to be seeing for the trend going forward. And when we look back to where we were just not this weekend, but the weekend prior, here's that same price action area equivalent of what we're doing, almost in the same price really, but there's your 5-wave move off the lows, an ABC back test, a breakout that's violent, and most of it's taken back, and then you start marching your way out of the region higher, as we did back in the day. And this is very likely what we're going to experience here moving forward, that we're just going to continue to start marching upwards. Okay, and this is great. So I am now, after having flopped around here for the last few days, just trying to figure out exactly what we were doing on the structure here, I am pretty convinced that we are now looking at a completion of a wave 1 rising wedge and a wave 2 correction, and we're now building and getting ready for wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the next wave to the upside. I'm thinking probably won't get much higher than 250. Maybe with this VWAP level, we can get back up to 254, maybe even to the 260s actually. And so we'll see how that plays, but then we'll still have one more correction, but then we're officially out of here. And what we're going to probably expect to see here during this time is Bitcoin performing pretty aggressively here. So Bitcoin, same story, right? Higher low being set, violent breakout, and now it's already working its way back off of these lows here for the move. And effectively, at this point, the biggest takeaway here for Bitcoin is when we look on the daily, it looks just absolutely wonderful. So if we basically are going to be working our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves off the lows, we then break out for a larger fifth wave that we're going into. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finishing here, A, B, C, with the final leg of the fifth being a back test of the midway point between the 618 and the 0.5. So it was front ran, and there was a little gap down there, closed some of it, and then it was all done. So now the expectations from here is that we're going to move back up into this region, back test, and then continue onward for our larger macro wave 5 continuation. And we should be seeing some really just kind of up only price action. And during this time though, what's really, really good is we have the dominance breaking down. So we have our Bitcoin dominance putting in a bear flag off of these levels here. So let's get this pulled up so you can see it better. So here is the squeeze that we occurred on the dominance, and now we're aggressively starting to break down, and you can see that our momentum indicators are turning over, and we're starting to get a little bit kind of a weaker of a bear flag forming. So this exact area was expected to have the dominance to start to break down, and when that is now happening, and I'm thinking we'll see continuation of the dominance breakdown as we see more green come into other coins besides Bitcoin, which is only up 0.5, but everything else is starting to do equal to or more for those levels. So so that's kind of the overall takeaway there. And then finally, liquidity, they've been sweeping it back and forth. So on XRP, we've got another liquidity batch here up at 231. The day range will take us up to 235-ish. So I can see us squeezing all the way back up into that region. And then we have the Sigma coin grinding with a reset of its daily momentum, finally getting back down, giving us the same larger ABC correction. And now hopefully Sigma can start working its way out the lows and get back up into a new prior high. So we're looking at a potential higher high coming in at a 281% potential upside for the Sigma coin. And as XRP starts to perform well, this multiplier will push into the underlying asset, and we should be able to see this correction for this wave 2, just like we had on XRP, wrap itself up and get this wave 1, wave 2 in. And you can really just see from the capitulation window here, maybe you can, let's go here. From the capitulation breakdown, this kind of rollover, very similar to what Sigma's doing. I mean, really no difference. It's just at the mercy of the overall market right now. And as the market starts to become believers that this is a breakout, you're going to see the Sigma coin also working off of its, kind of wave 1, wave 2 back test, and we should be moving into our next leg. So yes, that's basically how I'm looking at the charts this morning. Looking bullish, and as long as we turn around and continue to set higher lows here on these very, very aggressive liquidation wicks that are just going up, down, up, down, up, down. I mean, really, sadly, I didn't get my limit sells in. I just didn't think it was going to happen within 10 minutes. I mean, let's go to the 1 minute and let's just look at this thing. Literally, I bought this region right here with the higher lows and pop, and I was driving and I couldn't get to it. But the good news is now we've completed this pullback, taken back all the gaps, and now we're setting for a next bull flag to move back up to the top of the range. So, all right, so as long as higher lows continue to set, we should be good. And we'll check in tomorrow and hopefully we'll be higher. Thanks so much for watching.